This is more than just a podcast. It's a moment to stop, to breathe, to notice how you've been showing up. We were taught to push through, to stay strong, to hold it all together even when it cost us connection. But fatherhood was never meant to be survival. Here, we slow down before we raise our voice. We regulate before we correct. We learn that presence does more than pressure ever could. Because when a father changes how he shows up, the entire home shifts. Children feel safe instead of tense, partners feel supported instead of alone, and calm replaces chaos. Brothers, this is where awareness becomes action, where healing becomes leadership, where strength is measured by steadiness, not control. This is 15 Minutes with Dad, and this is the work, this is the responsibility, and this is how we change generations. Welcome back to 15 Minutes with Dad. This is episode 7 of Fatherhood While Healing. In episode 1, we talked about what happens when the family changes. In episode 2, we talked about co-parenting when you are still hurt. In episode 3, we talked about the fatherhood identity crisis. In episode 4, we talked about missing moments. In episode 5, we talked about the co-parenting reset. In episode 6, we talked about the healing father and breaking cycles before they reach your children. Today, we are talking about dating, love, and fatherhood after separation. And this is a sensitive one because after a relationship ends, many fathers feel a deep ache and they feel like they need either a woman there or they don't know how to even get back into the game. This is not only for romance, this is for closeness, for touch, for companionship, for being chosen, for feeling wanted again, and for having someone see them as more than a father, more than a provider, more than a man rebuilding life after pain. That desire is human. But this is where fathers have to move with wisdom and do some work. Because dating after separation is not only about you. Your choices now touch your children, your healing, your co-parenting, your emotional stability, future relationships, and the story your children learn about love. So today we're not going to shame fathers for wanting love again. We're going to talk about how to rebuild love without using another person to avoid healing. Because a new relationship should not become anesthesia for an old wound. So let's talk about it, guys. The loneliness after separation. So one of the hardest parts after separation is the loneliness, the quiet house, the empty side of the bed, the missing routine, the loss of adult connection, the feeling that life kept moving, but something inside of you is still sitting in the aftermath. For fathers, loneliness often gets hidden. Men may not always say, "I miss being loved," or "I miss being held," "I miss being wanted," or "I miss having someone to talk to at the end of the day," or "I miss partnership," or "I miss this space that this person once took up." Instead, the pain shows up differently. We start working more, maybe drinking more for some of us, scrolling more, dating too soon, just jumping into relationships, just jumping into attention, looking for validation and confirmation for our ego, trying to prove you still have options and you still got it, or trying to outrun grief. And I get it. When pain is loud, comfort feels urgent. But not every comfort is actually healing. Sometimes comfort delays your healing. Sometimes a new relationship gives you a temporary feeling of worth, but it does not address the wound beneath it. So before dating becomes the next chapter, fathers need to pause and ask themselves, am I ready to love someone well in the way they need me to show up? Or am I trying to feel less rejected and trying to avoid this feeling of abandonment? That question matters. Dating while wounded does not always look reckless. Sometimes it looks normal from the outside. You meet someone, they make you laugh, they make you feel seen, they make you feel attractive again. They listen in ways you felt starved for. They make you feel like you still matter. And that can feel powerful, especially after separation. But a wounded heart can misread relief as readiness. You may confuse the peace that you see with compatibility. You may confuse attention with love. You may confuse being desired with being healed. And you may confuse not being alone with being whole. And this is where men have to slow down. Because if you have not processed the last relationship, you may start making the new person responsible for the pain they did not create. You may become anxious when they just need space. You may become avoidant when they need closeness. You may over-explain, over-give, over-attach, withdraw, defend, test their loyalty, compare them to your ex, and expect them to prove they are safe before you have done the work to become safe with yourself. And that is why healing before rebuilding matters. It's extremely important. Separation has a way of exposing attachment patterns. If you carry anxious attachment, separation may make you crave reassurance. You may fear abandonment. You may want constant contact. You may read distance as rejection. You may rush intimacy because uncertainty feels unsafe. And if you carry avoidant attachment, separation may make you shut down. You may say you do not need anyone. You may keep new relationships surface level. You may also pull away when things become emotionally real. You may confuse independence with protection. If you carry disorganized patterns, you may want closeness and fear it at the exact same time. You may reach for love, then push it away. You may feel drawn to intensity because calm feels unfamiliar. This is not about labeling yourself forever. It's about awareness at this point. Because unhealed attachment patterns do not disappear because a new person enters the room. They travel with you. And if you are not aware, you may recreate the same cycle with a different name, different face, and different setting. The relationship changes. The pattern stays. And that is what healing interrupts. Let's talk about the supportive stance in this. How healthy love requires emotional readiness. So the supportive stance is this. The fathers deserve love after separation. You deserve companionship. You deserve joy. You deserve tenderness. You deserve healthy partnership. But your children also deserve emotional stability. And the people you date deserve honesty, maturity, emotional maturity, and psychological maturity. And they also deserve clarity. Because dating after separation is not only about romantic decisions, it is a family system decision. Who you invite into your life may affect your child's emotional world. Your routines, your attention, your co-parenting, your healing, your peace. That does not mean fathers should never date. It means fathers should date with awareness and balance. Not loneliness leading, not ego leading, not revenge leading, not fear leading, not emptiness leading. Values, healing, clarity is doing the leading. But you also must focus on the balance. And obviously there is a counter stance where people think that moving on quickly actually helps them heal. We're going to talk about that common pushback. Some men say, I need to get back out there. I cannot sit around sad forever. Or the best way to move on is to meet someone new. or I deserve to be happy. Those are very, very dangerous words. And there is truth in part of that. You do deserve happiness. You do deserve life after heartbreak. You do deserve connection. But moving on quickly and healing fully are not the same. Sometimes moving on quickly becomes a way to avoid your grief altogether. Because breaking up, it's a grieving process. Just like if you lose someone in real life, it's like losing someone. Like when they say when someone dies, the reason why you grieve them is because you have this love that that has nowhere to go. It's the same thing when you have a relationship or a partner or a wife or something, and it doesn't work out. You have to grieve that because now you still have this love for this person that has nowhere to go. And some people take that love that was for someone else and start passing it to a whole new person and think that they're doing just fine. But sometimes it becomes a way to prove you are desirable. Sometimes it becomes a way to punish the ex or to silence loneliness. Sometimes this becomes a way to skip accountability altogether. The question is not, do I deserve love? Because you do. A better question is, am I ready to love without making someone else carry my unprocessed pain? That question protects you. It protects the person you date also. But most of all, it protects your children. Now let's talk about the children, because this is where fathers have to be careful. After separation, children are already processing a great deal of change. They got 2 homes, different routine, missing one parent when they are with the other, new emotions they have to process, questions they may not know how to ask. And when a new partner appears too quickly, it can create confusion. A child may wonder, am I being replaced? Did dad move on from our family? Or do I have to like this person? Will loving this person hurt my mom? Or like, where do I fit now? Children need time to adjust. They need reassurance. They need honesty that matches their age specifically. They need to know that your love for them has not changed. They need to know a new adult does not replace their parent. They need to know their feelings are allowed. Their confusion is allowed. So do not force closeness. Do not demand excitement. Do not use your child's acceptance as proof your new relationship is working. Do not make your child perform happiness so you feel better about moving forward. Let trust grow slowly, safely, and naturally. Here's a blind spot some fathers miss. A new relationship can feel like healing because it makes the pain that you have quieter. You're feeling new love. You're in this honeymoon stage. But quieter pain is not always healed pain. You may feel better because someone is texting you and showing you attention. You may feel better because someone wants you. You may even feel better because you are no longer sitting alone in grief. But the real test comes when the new relationship requires maturity in communication, in patience, in boundaries, conflict, which is inevitable, vulnerability, accountability, and repair. And if the old wounds are still leading, they will show up. You may become defensive when corrected. You may shut down during conflict. You may need constant reassurance. You may avoid emotional depth altogether, and you may try to become everything they need because you fear being left alone. And you may choose someone unhealthy because chaos feels familiar to you. And that is why dating after separation requires a sense of self-awareness. You got to ask yourself, am I attracted to this person, or am I attracted to how they distract me from pain? Am I choosing peace or choosing familiar intensity? Am I showing up honestly for myself and for this person? Or am I performing the version of me I wish I had been before I met my ex? That is a pause and think moment. Here's a practical framework for fathers rebuilding love after separation. Number one, you can grieve before you build. You do not need to be fully healed before dating, but you do need to be honest about where you are in your journey. Have you grieved the past relationship? Have you named what hurt? Have you owned your part? Have you stopped using anger as armor? Number two, know your patterns. Ask yourself, do I chase? Do I withdraw? Do I overgive? Do I control? Do I shut down? Do I need validation? Or do I ignore red flags because I hate being alone? That awareness protects your future. Number three, move slower than your loneliness. Loneliness creates urgency. Healing creates wisdom. So do not let loneliness set the pace, because you can jump. It'll make you jump right on back in there and be unprepared for everything that comes about and not showing up as your best self. Number four is very important. Protect your children's emotional rhythm. Do not introduce every person you date. Do not rush integration. Do not make your child carry adult decisions. Your child deserves stability. So be honest with the person you date. Do not pretend to be more ready than you are. Say the truth. I am rebuilding. I am healing. I care about moving with intention. My children are a major part of my life, and maturity starts with honesty. Number six, watch how they respond to your fatherhood. A healthy partner respects your role as a father. They do not compete with your children. They do not rush the access with them. They do not pressure you to abandon your values. They do not create chaos around co-parenting. They respect the complexity. Number seven is the most vital one. Keep your healing alive. Dating is not a replacement for healing. Keep therapy, keep journaling, keep community, keep reflecting, and keep approaching accountability with a new lens. Love grows healthier when healing stays active. Now, this question comes up a lot. When should I introduce someone to my kids? And there's not one perfect timeline, but there are questions every father should ask first. Is this relationship stable? Has enough time passed to know this is not only excitement? Does this person respect my parenting? Have I talked to my child in an age-appropriate way? Am I introducing them for my child's benefit or because I want validation? That's a big one. Am I ready for my child to have feelings that may not match mine? That last one's very important. Your child may not be excited. Your child may feel very awkward. They may feel loyal to the other parent. And your child may need some space. That does not mean you did something wrong. It means they are human. Give them room. Let the introduction be simple, low pressure, short, natural. Do not make it a big emotional announcement. Do not ask your child to instantly accept a new family picture. Let trust build through time, not pressure. Now, dating after separation also affects co-parenting. And this is where maturity actually matters the most. Your co-parent may have feelings about you dating. You may have feelings about your co-parent dating. Those feelings may be real, but they cannot lead the parenting plan. You need boundaries. What information is shared? When do new partners meet children? How are safety concerns handled? How are pickups and drop-off handled? What language gets used around children? What role does a new partner have in discipline, routine, school, and communication? These questions matter because unclear expectations create conflict, and conflict creates stress for your children. The goal is not to control your co-parent's life. The goal is to protect the child's emotional safety. And that requires maturity from both homes. And where both homes do not agree, you can still lead your side with clarity. So the aligned father does not treat dating as an escape. He treats love as a responsibility. He does not rush because he is lonely. The aligned father does not perform because he is insecure. He does not use a new person to prove his worth. He does not force his child into a role they are not ready for. He does not confuse chemistry with character. He asks, am I healed enough to be honest with myself, my partner, my co-parent, my kids? Am I steady enough to communicate? Am I clear enough to set boundaries? Am I patient enough to protect my child's pace? Am I choosing someone who supports the father that I am becoming? So a big question, and that is alignment. And alignment in love sounds very simple. I want connection, but I will not abandon wisdom. I want companionship, but I will not rush my children. I want to be loved, but I will not use love to avoid healing. I am rebuilding, and I will move with intention. And that is fatherhood while healing. Today, I want you to take away one thing. You deserve love after separation, but you also deserve to enter love whole enough to recognize peace. Your children deserve a father who does not rush their emotional world to satisfy his loneliness. The person you date deserves honesty, and you deserve a relationship built from healing and not fear. So slow down. Grieve what ended in your past relationship. Learn your patterns. Protect your children. Date with intention. Let love be part of your next chapter and not a way to run from the last one. So in the next episode, we are closing this series with the new beginning, becoming the father your next chapter needs. So until then, stay honest, move with wisdom, protect your child's peace, and keep becoming. Before you move on, let's pause here, because growth doesn't happen in the listening. It happens in what you choose next. So you don't need to change everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Stay present long enough to practice something different. So carry this into your home, into those small moments, the hard conversations, and the quiet decisions no one applauds. That's where fatherhood is built. And if something here resonated, let it become action. Let it become consistency, or become the way that you lead. Because this is how trust is formed. This is how safety is felt, and this is how generational change actually happens. And if this episode helps you, share it with another father who's trying to do better. And if you have a story, a win, or a lesson you're learning, email me at Lirec, Lirec, at 15minuteswithdad.com. That's Lirec at 15minuteswithdad.com. Because this work grows through shared experiences.